I'm Joseph Blank. This is a Habitat Humanity house, and I'm being interviewed because I'm a Habitat house owner. My boys needed a place, and I needed a place, and we had just lost their mother, and we just needed a good home to raise the boys in, to give them a life to be able to succeed in life. Well, I had to go through an interview process of who I was and why I needed or wanted a house. I had to make sure that they knew that I knew how to budget and stuff. A family that was in here, and some reason, somehow they weren't able to keep it, and so Habitat had to take it back, and it sat empty for quite some time, I was told. And they asked if I'd be interested in being able to come in this house, and when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it's fine. What's kind of unique is I'm basically right back in the neighborhood I grew up in. 3 blocks down and a house down here is where I grew up. Well, the sad part is in 1986, I injured my back on a job. I used to be a machinist, auto machinist, where I grind crankshafts and whatnot. In fact, the crankshaft grinding machine is how I hurt my back. So I ended up going to see a doctor, and I had to have back surgery then. And right now I'm at my 5th back surgery about 9-10 months ago. And I actually, for the first time since 1986, I have no low back pain. In 1988, my wife, she was the first female they ever did a dual transplant of a kidney and pancreas. And there were 6 men done before her, so they didn't have any idea what would happen. But anyway, she had many complications. She was in the hospital for 3 months because of it. And for some reason in '92, her kidney was going to hell again, to where she was going to lose her kidney and have problems. And I was friends, and I they say that non-relatives can donate. I'd be willing to donate if I could help you. I have no problem with that. And I went through all the stuff for studies and tests and everything, tissue samples and all that stuff that they do. But anyway, I ended up being a minimum match, so I donated a kidney to her in '92. When I donated the kidney to her, a week before I donated the kidney to her, I proposed to her. And we got married a year later, just so everybody knows. An hour after I donated the kidney to her, there was something wrong with my existing kidney. And 2 hours before, all the blood tests and stuff that were done before I donated were fine. But anyway, several years later, I had to have a kidney transplant myself. So through all that and stuff, then she wanted to have a kid. Our first son was born. He died before he was born, and thank God, because she was having complications. I had taken her to Mayo, and so the room fills with doctors and nurses, and the doctor yells out, "Who's got the smallest hands?" And this nurse runs up, and she grabs her, or puts her hand up into my wife's womb and pulsates the baby back to life in the womb. And nurses that have delivered babies that I've talked to have never heard of that. Anyway, the doctor yells out, "Hey, everything's fine, mama's doing good, baby's doing good. Clean everything up, let's get out of here." Well, they did that, and her and I are sitting there visiting, and it probably was maybe 20 minutes, half hour after everybody was gone, the alarm goes off again. I'm sorry, I have a hard time with this part. The alarm goes off again, the baby dies again. Doctors and nurses, they're going to do emergency C-section this time, and I can't go in there because of the emergency situation. So I'm standing at the end of the hall, and it seemed like hours. Doctor comes flying out of the room, slams the door shut. He was cussing and swearing. He looks up and he sees me standing there, and he drops his head and turns and walks away from me. And I'm like, that can't be good. About the same time, a nurse comes out of the door off to the right where they took my wife through for the baby. And she's walking down the hall, and she's telling me that, or asked me if I wanted to see my son. And I said, yeah. And as we're walking down the hall, she's telling me that she's sorry, but my son was dead for over 3 minutes. Explaining to me that that would be some brain damage where he could have learning abilities, or maybe even stuff for walking or whatever. She was going into a lot of details. I get into the room and our son is laying there on this table, and you know, little babies, they sleep with little fists. He was laying there and his fingers were flat on the mat. And when I'd touch him, he had no muscle tone, no nothing, but at least my little baby was alive. Well, I'm here to tell you that thank God for miracles with God, whatever. That boy 3 years ago graduated from college with 2 degrees in psychology with 4 extras. A year ago got his business and management master's degree, and so they were wrong about all that, thank God. And we had a little boy, he was 2 months early, and we had a little boy after that because Deb wanted to try it again, and he was born 3 months early. With everything I've gone through and with her and myself, and getting in the situation where even when I got the house, I was on disability and whatnot because of all my own medical problems that I've had for many years. We wouldn't have had a house. We wouldn't have been in the situation where we're at and stuff, to where the boys had a chance to be able to grow up, to become young gentlemen, to be able to go out and expand their own lives. It's phenomenal that we were able to do all that because we were able to bring them up in a house and not have to move around all the time. Or it was nice to have a stationary home with a roof over our heads and be able to go on with life. One thing I gotta say is Habitat, the whole time, they're always checking in on you when you first start here. You have a group of people that they actually let you know that are there, and any time that you need them, they give you phone numbers and stuff to where you can call them in need or if anything's going wrong. They want you to be very honest and open about whatever's going on, and they're there to help you no matter what you're going through. And I can't say enough about that either. They have quite the team that supports you through everything you're going through to even start to have your own house and stuff, which is great. In fact, I plan on staying here until either I go in a nursing home or whatever, because I love the place. I'm close to the river. I go fishing all the time. I'm out on the river with the boat or out on the ice like this time of year fishing. In fact, Sunday I caught a 12-inch bluegill, which is a huge bluegill. And all these people that put their time and stuff make it to where such a thing can happen for somebody like myself to even get a house. All that stuff put together, it all works. I mean, the donations, the people bring food so people can have a bite to eat and stuff while they're on the premises. I can't say enough on all the different people that volunteer and donate their time and money or whatever into this organization, because there's no way to say there's any way to lose in Habitat, in my opinion. I love Habitat for what they stand for what they do for people, giving us a chance like myself to be able to have a roof over our heads that we can afford to live in, being able to see my kids be happy and expand in life from that, because being able to not have to struggle as hard, I guess is a good way to put it. And kind of another way to put it too is we started our life over then, and it ended up being pretty good. I mean, we had ups and downs like anybody else, but I'm pretty proud of where we're at and stuff now, that's for sure.